Hello folks and welcome along to the channel. We are here with DCD Racing League for their round 9 and the penultimate round of the season here at Silverstone. This 5.891 kilometre or 3.66 mile long track is a legendary placeholder in the sport of Formula 1. The tyres we're going to be using here is the C3 soft, C2 mediums and the C1 hard compound tyres. It's been on the calendar since 1950, on the very first racetrack that Formula 1 did take place on back then, so way back in the day. What's this, 75 years now, so quite an incredible journey that Formula 1 has undertaken. Many of the evolutions that have came over the decades. Now we'll have a wee quick peek and we'll try and get the I've not even got up, I've been just rushing about a wee bit unfortunately, but we'll have a look at the driver standings for now. So we've got Nike at the top, that's Uncle Lando I do believe. Is in first place on 125 points. Oh wait, no wait. I need to get into the thing, so unfortunately I can't get that. We'll need to find out. We'll get back to that at a later time, because I think it's in the app unfortunately, and I don't have the invite code. I need to get that. But right now, we'll go with Ricky Maru, someone who we've not seen on the channel for a while. Actually, I'm unsure if he has been on my channel before, but I know he has been on the All About Racing one at one point anyway. Now, let's see, we're on with Ricky Maru as they're going through the loop onto the Wellington Straight now. First DRS zone of the circuit, coming down into Brooklands, getting into that apex nicely into Lawfield here. Hooking that car in quite nicely. Oh, just a little touch on the gravel there through Woodcut and the one corner too. That's Ricky Murray unfortunately invalidating at Woodcut. Formerly there was the first the final corner of the racetrack back when the start-finish straight used to be right there, and Copse, sorry, Copse, I always get them two mixed up. Back when Copse was actually turn one, it was actually a bit of a different layout to what it used to be. Yeah, Brooklands and Lawfields was the final corners, but right now Luke Brisser just seen them come back into the pits after invalidating unfortunately. We'll see who's going to be up next. It looks like it's going to be a Mercedes. Oh, Uncle Lando, 127.526. Good enough for provisional pole position just now. We're 13 minutes left in the session, or just over 13 minutes. We're on board with Robert Newber. Let's see how well they're going to do. They're coming out of club at 127.163. Nice time there indeed. Now let's see, Gaming Infinity 127.799. We've got Floyd there putting in a 128.588. There's Ricky Maru going again. Yep, they are keeping it within the white lines through Woodcut this time. Now through Maggots and Beckett's, this left, right section before you get to Chapel. Oh, pushing on the limit there was Ricky Maru in that Haas as they were coming into Chapel. Now up this little crest as they go into Stowe. Running it out wide and nicely does it. Now into the final section, we've got a yellow flag. That's McLaren going slowly. That's Killer Zombie, I do believe. I think. There we go, Ricky Maru, 130.259. 2 seconds, folks. So let's see, we'll go with, let's see, who's going to be next? It's going to be Killer Zombie who's up. Where is Ricky Maru? Ricky Maru, unfortunately, invalidated again. Don't think they've got enough to go again. So, as you see, we've unfortunately got a bit of a low number here tonight. It's a bit unfortunate. I'm just getting the chat up. Oh, we've got Nike saying evening, mate. Bramble is there. And Floyd as well. So, welcome along to the stream, guys. Nice to have you guys in the comment section. Of course, good luck to everyone out there with 10 minutes left on the clock. We've still got time for everyone to get out and do a lap or two, depending on how quick they are. Of course, you're going to have to be quite quick to get a lap in and get back out and such, because you've got your out lap, in lap, plus flying lap. But let's see. Let's see how well Killer Zombie is going to do, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Of course, is everyone ready for the, as I like to call it, the Raw Seek next week? Race week. In other words, I just find that meme absolutely hilarious. Like, how could your design team be that bad and to mess up race week? Let's see, Killer Zombie in the McLaren puts in a 128.874. Nicely done. Puts that in the 6th place. We've got Loop Racer coming into club. Goes 4th, the 127.681. It's all quite close between the top 6 there. All keeping it within the 127s. Killer Zombie, unfortunately, being a bit down on that time. We'll see if they've got what it takes to improve on that as they're coming around for another lap. It seems they're on a hot lap. So we'll stick on board with them as they're coming through Woodcut onto the old start-finish straight. And this used to actually be turn 1. Quite an interesting layout, and you can actually see the pit exit line, which is still used by the GT cars and other cars that happen to go around this track at times. So it is very refreshing when you've got a track that could have multiple different layouts, which is something EA should bring back, is the short circuits and multiple layouts of tracks. We miss it. Same with classic cars. Anyway, we're not on about that right now. Killer Zombie throwing it into the pits. And that's everyone in the pits for now. Robert Newber is actually on the intermediate tyres. That's I'm kind of curious about what's happening with the weather, and I'm going to check, because if I remember right, it is set it's set for proper times. So we've got what it's looking like is it's going to be raining during the race. In the middle of it. Looking at it now, it's seeming like it's already started to rain. Or am I just tripping major nutsack? Comment and let me know. It's always good to know if I'm tripping nuts or not. So, anyone in the chat section, how are you finding? Did you find the testing last week? Of course, we've seen Sainz top the standings at one point. Russell, who else was it? Norris topped the times at one point. I think Hamilton did on the last day as well at one point. So it's looking like a bit of a mixed bag. Williams sort of wouldn't count too much on that, although I think they've improved quite a bit from previous years. And let's see. Oh, we've got Cryptic F1 saying race predictions for this race. Well, there's a few of them that I've not seen. Robert Newber, I don't think I've came across them. I probably have, but I've just slipped my mind. You know what? Let's throw a wild one out there. We'll go Chuck Norris. Let's see if Chuck Norris has got what it takes. Oh, that was a close one. Getting a bit too much on that inside curb there at the apex. That one likes to unsettle the car. I do find these curbs really annoying sometimes. And it's like see the red curbs there on the inside of the normal curb at the side of the track. I do find them. I really, really do hate them. For myself when I was driving. Oh, 127.469, 15 thousandths of a second quicker than Chuck Norris. Nicely done there from Uncle Lando. Still a wee bit off of the Mercedes of Robert Newber there. So we'll see how things are going to go with that. We'll see, of course, the start. It could all change. We've seen it happen many, many a times where the lead has changed. Let's see Chuck Norris coming through the first few corners there of Abbey Farm and Village, now going through the loop down the Wellington Straight. DRS is wide open. We can see that Williams sign logo looking straight up to the sky there as it reduces the airflow going through that rear wing. So, sorry, increases the airflow going through the rear wing, so that it reduces the drag and therefore it's less air resistance, so less of a brick wall that the cars are hitting. So DRS very, very effective. Ooh, getting right out of shape there through Magnussen Beckett's there at the end, and I think Chuck Norris has given up on that lap as they've lost quite a bit of time there. Loop racer into the pits has just came out, and there we go. Now it's give us the different camera angle. We'll get with who is the Aston Martin as the Scotsman of Floyd. Let's see how Floyd is going to handle Cobb here. That's currently sitting in 6th place with a 127.945, 127.708 for Floyd. It just goes behind their teammate of Loop Racer. Gaming Infinity has unfortunately invalidated their lap time. Killer Zombie on a lap. I'm unsure if I was muted there or not, but Ricky Maru putting in a 126.814. Nicely done to Ricky Maru for that. We've got Killer Zombie just coming up to Stowe here. I think, are they going to be going into the pits? Yep, Kamikaze right into the pit lane. Game Infinity coming around at Cops. Let's see. Alright, okay, so apparently YouTube is listening to what you're listening to. It just sounds a bit creepy the way it comes up. We're listening on the YouTube music app there. Just got that screenshot from the missus there. Let's see. Game Infinity not being able to improve on their time. Whip Racer on a lap there. Oh, they're trying to get back around. Nope, they're not going to make it, unfortunately. They're not going to make that to finish that lap, unfortunately. There we go, across the line to go. We've got Uncle Lando on a lap. Ricky Maru just coming through Mags and Beckett's. Oh, Robert Newbert is just letting the car cool down. We've got Braden saying, "What's up, Lee?" Alright, Braden, nice to see you in the chat. Let's see how is things going on. Here we've got Robert Newbert is, I keep saying Newford or something. Honestly, need to get my brain in gear. Ricky, right, okay. I think it may be Ricky Maru that make it this. That was an incredible time there, 126.446. Let's see what Uncle Lando has got. Can he beat a 126? No, he can't. 127.359. Only good enough for third place right now. So there we go. That is the end of qualifying. Yes, Braden, I'll be on comms tomorrow again for WWR. So you could look forward to that. That'll be at 8 PM tomorrow night. Unsure of the track. I could go and have a little peek right now while we're in loading screen. I think it was Zandvoort. I could be wrong. Was it Zandvoort? Yes, it was. So there we go. That's the end of qualifying. Ricky Maru coming in hot with that 126.446. Robert Newbert there in the Mercedes in second place. Is going to be lining up alongside the Haas. Oh my god, my door is rattling like crazy. We've got Uncle Lando in third place, Chuck Norris in fourth, Luke Racer in fifth, sixth for Floydie, in seventh for Gaming Infinity, and Killer Zombie is going to be lining up at the back in eighth place. Sorry. Got a wash on right now, and yeah, my living room door likes to rattle. What's this league called? These guys... Jesus Christ, that's annoying, that. These guys need drivers. I got Fridays free at the moment. Yeah, Braden, what to do is if you fire me a message on Discord, I think I've got you on Sundays, maybe? I think it's Sundays I've got you on. I can't remember. Sorry. But yeah. If you just fire me a message on Discord, and I could end up sending you the link and put you in contact with the admins, and they could sort you out a place. Yep, Nike's saying we need drivers. Yep, no worries, Braden. Nike's saying need drivers anyway, so yeah. So I'll fire that over to you. Just shoot me a message just now, so it's just sitting on my phone as a notification, and then that way I'll be able to get back to you right away and send that over to you. New season in 2 weeks as well. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that, definitely. Yeah, so we've got this race here tonight. I'm going to be live again tomorrow night and on Sunday as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to this weekend of racing. Of course, it's going to be a bit difficult next week, considering it's the Australian Grand Prix. I'm really not looking forward to that. Yep, there we go. And right, I'll go and fire this over to you right now while we are here. There we go, perfect. There you go, Braden. Sent you that just there. Perfect, there we go. That's the that's just sent you that link. So let's see. Nocturnal weekend for the AusGP. Is it a 4 AM start? Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That's usually when I'm going to bed, so that's fun. It's all good, Luke Bracer. Welcome along as well. I also got Rick and Murray straight from the pub to watch F1. I'm going to be chilling here and just staying up that wee bit later to watch it. So I'm honestly buzzing for it. I'm like a drug addict that's needing their fix, you know. Like I'm rattling for it. I need my drug, my F1. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the comment section will agree as well. Can't wait for Australia. I'm actually really curious how this is going to go with McLaren coming off of the high that they came off of last year into this season. And yeah, seeing how Red Bull are going to be coping with that, especially with Lawson being in that Red Bull car now, seeing what all the rookies have got, that's going to be a really interesting one. I'm actually looking forward to that. But here we go, we've got one light, and it's going to be a formation lap. Now let's hope the same doesn't happen of what happened in WWR. I'm suspecting mediums for a lot of people. Oh, softs as well. It's a split grid. Oh, split grid. This is going to be fun. Now, we know that the weather forecast is saying that there may be rain at one point. The clouds are saying the same. Looking at them, and we're just going to be waiting for the heavens to open up and absolutely lash it down. And from the angle I had there, it looked like Robert Newberg was thinking it was a race there. But that was just the angle of the camera. A little bit of illusion, trickery, I will say sometimes with these cars. And the camera angles, it does like to show you them a bit closer when they're miles back from each other. It's a bit unusual sometimes, but hey ho. So we've got Ricky Maru and Robert Newber who are going to be lining up on row 1 in first and second. In third will be Uncle Lando, and fourth is Chuck Norris. That's going to complete row 2. On row 3 is the Aston Martin duo of Luke Racer and Floyd. They're going to be going on the softs for Luke Racer, mediums for Floyd. Third and fourth on the mediums, Ricky Maru in first and Robert, mediums then softs. And Gaming Infinity and Killer Zombie looking to make an impression right from the start, going on them soft tyres at the back of the grid. Definitely got a bit of traffic to get past. You see Ricky Maru, it looks like they're pointing their car over to the right hand side. It looks like they're really trying to block over Robert Newber there. Oh, Uncle Lando exceeding that box a little, and Floyd, I'm unsure what's happened with them. They're on the wrong side of the grid. And Floyd, what's happened, bro? Go on. And he needs to get into his spot and do something. May end up getting disqualified. There we go. And there we go. He just went that bit past us. Okay. So there we go. We're getting ready to get going. We've got the 4-5 red lights, and we are away for the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix. Moving over to the right hand side, trying to block Robert Newber, but Robert gets a brilliant launch up the inside of turn 1. Nicely done as they go around turn 2. Ricky Maru still holding on to the back of that Mercedes. Oh, we've seen a bit of contact there, it looked like. Was that a bit of contact with Floyd and Uncle Lando? Uncle Lando's dropped down quite a considerable bit from third place, Chuck Norris up a place. Gaming Infinity has made a substantial leap up. So Gaming Infinity and Uncle Lando essentially up 3 and down 3. Not the best to start for Uncle Lando. We'll see if he could bring that back. On board with Gaming Infinity right now as he's right close to the back of Chuck Norris as they're going into Cop's Corner. We're going to be having 26 laps of racing here at this legendary circuit that has always been a staple on the calendar. Well, almost. There's been a few times with it being... Whoa! That was close. Chuck Norris just getting a bit too wide there on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, and almost went into the side of was that Gaming Infinity? Yep, it was. We've got Gaming Infinity and Loop Racer battling out, coming down Vale, and it looks like Loop Racer's made that third place up. Nicely done there from the Aston Martin as Robert Newber sets the fastest time, of course, because he's the only one to set a fast time at that point. My bejesus, is the one thing I could have done is with a drink. I completely forgot. We'll go up to the top here and see this battle out for the lead right now between Ricky Maru and Robert Newber. Coming down the Wellington straight. Ricky Maru's going to have the DRS in order to catch up. Not able to make a considerable impact just yet. Gaming Infinity trying to get past. A Loop Racer here trying every which way. Not working out just yet. Looking on at the back of Gaming Infinity. Is he going to try it down the inside at Cops? Nope, he's lifting off. Chicken. Uncle Lando right behind though. And then we've got Floyd just behind that. So all quite close together still. Nicely done. On board with Uncle Lando, who's managed to make up one place up now. Let's see if he can make it 2. Could be about to get past the Loop Racer here. And he is. Loop Racer fell back down to 5th after that double overtake between Uncle Lando and Gaming Infinity, both moving up a place. So Gaming Infinity now up into 3rd. Ricky Maru has closed that gap down on Robert Newber. Let's see how Gaming Infinity is going to handle this pressure here from the McLaren. Doesn't look like anything happening just yet. Oh, Void, he's went and got a 3-second time penalty. That's a bit unfortunate. Oh, Uncle Lando now coming up the left-hand side of Gaming Infinity. And the Loop Racer goes up into 4th on the inside. Stowe, though, is still remaining there, but ends up having to give way. Uncle Lando getting that 3rd position. Gaming Infinity still trying to squeeze up the outside there. Oh, they could have got a through goes Floyd there, but unfortunately couldn't get the car rotated enough. So Ricky Maru's still not close enough to make a move on. Still not close enough to make a move on Robert Newberg yet. We'll see if that is going to change anytime soon. But this battle for 3rd place is still heating up with Uncle Lando, Loop Racer and Gaming Infinity still all battling it out. Oh, thank God. I needed that, honestly. Just needed a drink. My mouth was parched up. Looking on at Gaming Infinity there, getting past the Loop Racer, moving up into 4th position. These guys really battling it out here. Of course, Gaming Infinity not doing the best in qualifying, did start in 7th place. Oh, whoa, I just seen that. That went heavy rain for the briefest of seconds there, and now it's light rain. We're going to be seeing the intermediates on soon enough. We'll get the tyre strats up right now, and you'll see the soft tyres will have been the best right now. Of course, but then you try and say that to Ricky Mario or Uncle Lando and they'll bite your head off with that. The mediums have been absolutely excellent for them. Gaming Infinity struggling getting back on the power coming out of the loop. That is definitely going to be not the best for them. They need that momentum to get past the Loop Racer there. Oh, no, Loop Racer! Unfortunately managed to keep the car from being damaged, it seems. That was nicely done there, nice recovery, nice save there from Loop Racer. Honestly thought he was a way to put that into the wall there. Oh, we're seeing some drivers opting for pit stops. Robert Newberg opting for a pit stop, Ricky Mario, and I think that is time. I think Floyd, Chuck Norris. No, it's just Floyd who stayed out. Floyd is the only driver who stayed out. DRS is disabled. And he's going to need to punch it and absolutely get and hope and pray if a safety car or a VSC does come out, it comes out as soon as possible. Wet tyres on for Loop Racer. Maybe, I'm thinking that maybe have been an accident. Ricky Mario on the softs. We've seen mediums for Gaming Infinity and Killer Zombie. This is just went crazy. I'm actually curious on how... Has the loop racer actually pulled out a blinder here? Because it could end up going to full wet. I mean, it is Britain after all. It's, we've seen Game Infinity losing control of that car, struggling to keep it in a straight line. It's like Bambi on ice there. Looking at that, getting off the track in there, fortunately enough, gets out the way. And we can see the gap there between Robert and Floyd. 5 seconds now, and it's going to be coming quicker and coming down quicker and quicker. Chuck Norris is trying to chase down Ricky Maru, going through Mags and Beckus. This is going to be a perfect time where Chuck Norris is going to gain a lot of time, even if they aren't going the fastest they are capable of. You see that gap came down by just about 2.5 seconds there. Floyd came into the pit. 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Hopefully they could get that sorted if there's going to be a safety car. Oh, the Haas of Ricky Maru's really struggling on them slick soft tyres. Of course, there is no grooves in the soft tyres, so it isn't going to be moving any water out the way, and it'll just be riding across the top of the water. And sort of aquaplaning sometimes. Not the best. Gaming Infinity into the pits, getting off them tyres. Loop racer, let's see how they're coping on these medium tyres. We'll watch the gap between them and Chuck Norris. 2.3 seconds as they're going into Village. Now going through the loop, it seems that the wet tyres may actually be the better tyre to be on. Oh, but then again, just say that, but I think that just may be typical wet weather, getting a little bit squirrely there on the front end as they're coming through. They'll coming onto the Wellington straight there. Now through Bricklands and the Overfield now. Now they are closing the gap on Chuck Norris, so I think they just went and skipped the intermediates and just went straight onto that, because this pit is the longest pit lane out of any on the calendar. Of course, in terms of length, it's not as long that you're in the pit lane for, but it is a long pit stop. But of course, it has got the how slow you end up going through this pit lane, as well as one of the slower times on the calendar. 1.9 seconds the gap is down to for Loop Racer and Chuck Norris, and Robert Newber is ever increasing that gap on second place at 14.5 seconds now. Loop Racer closing that gap to Chuck Norris. It's below 1 second now. If this was in the dry, we would have the DRS being able to be activated, but he's going to have to do it the classic way, without the DRS. Prior to, 2012 DRS got introduced, I think it was. Could be wrong. Anyone in the chat, let me know. I think it was 2012, because I remember 2010 being the ERS, or KERS as it was known back then. Funnily enough, family bakers that I used to love going to made the best pony rolls. Brilliant. Let's see, Loop Racer though, he's gaining on Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, it seems that they wet tyres are actually the tyre to go for. Was thinking about going for a move, but in this wet weather it's better to just be safe than sorry. 16 seconds the gap to second place now. Robert Newber is definitely increasing that gap quite substantially now. Loop Racer coming down into Vale, right behind the Williams. Now, is the Aston Martin going to be able to get the overtake done going into Village? It is certainly going to be needing to get out the way. Well, hoping that they would get out of the way, but classic Williams going to have to get past them the hard way. Ricky Maru has retired from the Grand Prix. That's in the pit lane, so we're down to 7. Yay. Oh, Luke Bracer going off track there. So we're on lap 9 and we're already down to 7 drivers. But unfortunate, has Killer Zombie been in the pits twice? I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, they have, and so is Gaming Infinity. So both of them that were on the harder tyres, on the dry tyres, sorry. So we've got Ricky Maru in the chat saying, forgot we are driving in a game made in 2007 and didn't choose my tyres. Yeah, the classic EA copy and paste for all their titles, really. Copy, paste, and just put in a new title, I suppose. Maybe add in a couple of new features that increase microtransactions. Typical EA. And the new things often end up creating bugs, and then the bug fixes make other bugs and glitches, and yeah, it's confusing. But we'll say one person that is doing exceptionally well right now is Robert Newbert. He's going to have that sort of free play to stay out a lap or two more. Oh, we're going side by side, going through Brooklands and Luffield. Is Luke Bracer and Chuck Norris. Is Luke Bracer going to manage to get it around the outside or go for a switchback? Nope, doesn't look like it. Although I will say to Ricky Maru, the 2007 game was exceptional. I think it was 7 or was it 8? It was one of them. 2007 or 8. It was the Championship Edition F1 game. One of my favourites. I love that. Let's see though how Chuck Norris is going to be able to fend off this attacking Aston Martin. And certainly not like that. Certainly not with going over the white lines. Looking behind and we can see the Aston Martin whizzing up the inside of Stowe there. But Chuck Norris having that momentum around the outside. Why are they boxing for 6? I think you may be a little bit behind here. We're on lap 11. So we'll see if Braden is on the... So we had, what was it, 3 drivers that ended up pitting for softer tyres. I mean, looking at Luke Bracer here, I honestly think he's got the pace to actually go for it. Looking on it, it's on the crossover period, I would say. Oh yeah, so Braden's just he's back a few laps, so he's on lap 7 just now. But yeah, looking at the track, it's in this sort of crossover period at the moment. By the looks of things, the inters are decent, but so's the wets, and it doesn't seem to be any proper puddles or anything like that. It is standing water, but it's not any puddles or that. So I guess that is one bright side for the intermediate runners. Luke Bracer will definitely be hoping for it to get heavier, and heavier it has for Chuck Norris. Who have they got that broken front wing? Yep, they do. I'm definitely going to need to try and be careful. Oof, there we go, now they could reverse. Fortunately enough, Floyd has managed to get past Chuck Norris in the Williams. Down in 5th now, he's going to have to make a pit stop, but unfortunate there. So all the guys have sort of stepped out a wee bit. Eh? Times have sort of opened up a little on lap 12. See, I barely ever use wets, even when it is the faster tyre. It doesn't take long in this game for a dry line to form, and then very quickly inters are better. I mean, yeah, you got a fair point there. I mean, it can show. I mean, perfect example is I was watching Formula One video on YouTube earlier on, and it was saying about it was the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix, where it was actually called off, and you seen Sebastian Vettel actually lost the lead on the final lap. I think it was turn 6 or 7. Unfortunately lost the lead there at the end of Sector 1, start of Sector 2, and Jenson Button managed to go on to claim that victory. But you seen it, after all the rain that had happened, you seen the dry line and that race come in quite quickly after the rain had stopped, that is. But if it's consistent, it's a bit of an issue. Somebody taking their bins out, it seems. Chuck Norris into the pit has retired from the Grand Prix. Fun with a capital PH. So down to 6 what are. So closest gap right now is Luke Racer and Uncle Lando. 9.4 seconds. We'll see if Luke Racer is going to be able to catch up. It seems like the gap is just opening up a bit more. Inter miles better. Also 10 more minutes of rain, by the way. It's RN. RN? Unsure if you mean right now or... Oh, it's Robert Newber. That's it. Fair. Just type Y if it is you, or just do a little left right going down to cops here. If you do a little weave, I'll know cryptic is you. Yep, it is cool. So racing with one hand and typing with the other. If this was on the road, you would have a few points on your driving licence. I don't think it's advised by any driving instructor. I mean, to be fair, looking back at was it 62 Spa Grand Prix, I think it was, I've seen as well. Jim Clark ended up managing to win the race somehow by over 5 minutes, and he was racing with one hand stuck on his gear stick in absolutely torrential rain, which, wow, no idea how they managed to do that. Of course, it's insane. It's just like what was it? It was 76 Japanese Grand Prix as well. I think James Hunt ended up with a... Oh no, he didn't have a stuck gear shifter, but he ended up with a really messed up hand because the knob fell off, if I remember right. Could be wrong. So is it saying for people to pit? Oh, Floyd going over to the right hand side, getting trying to cool the tyres down, it seems. So we've got Robert Newbert listening to the commentator here, getting all the insider information. No wonder he's catching up to Killer Zombie here. So seen Braden saying I actually did that on two-player career early in the race. Started with light rain but still dry, so I started softs, and when it was time for inters I pitted and they put on slips because I forgot to change. The amount of times I have done that and I've just ended up rage quitting. I'm like, bro, it's absolutely lashing down a rain, and yet you still have no idea to go put on a bloody set of intermediates or wet tyres, or the classic when you're missing just a small part of the front wing and you're like, right, I may as well just get the front wing changed, it's a safety car. You end up serving a 10-second time penalty or something, and then they don't change your front wing and you're like, oh my god, you're just lazy. It's meant to do it automatically. I mean, you got a broken front wing, so fix it. Unless you specifically say no. But I'd say that's an error that's always been with the games. Oh, Robert, going a little bit off track there at Cops. Oh, a bit shaky out of Stowe there for Robert. Uncle Lando in second, third for Luke Bracer, fourth for Floyd, and Game of Infinity and Killer Zombie are running out in fifth and sixth. Quite a big gap, unfortunately, between a lot of the drivers. It's almost looking a bit like a practice session almost. But unfortunately, there was meant to be more that turned up. That was the thing. It was meant to be about 13 people, I think, with a few that were on the fence, either tentative or it was reserves, so I could be wrong about that. So it's a bit unfortunate in that regard. I know, right, or why isn't the second stint automatically set to wets? Surely they know rain's coming early, but yeah, the wing one is ridiculous. Yeah, honestly, the winging accent is slipping out. Sorry, not my accent, my slang. There we go. So the wing one is ridiculous. Yeah, I've got to agree with that. I'm like, in any sort of scenario, the only one track I would say it's okay to leave it is Monaco, because it's going to end up getting busted by the time you end up trying to leave the pits anyway. So, does it make sense to pit and waste all that time at Monaco? Monaco's the only one that I would say is you just got to grin and bear it and just bite the bullet, I suppose. But yeah, we're on lap 17 now, about to go into lap 18 with Robert Newbert. So we've got 9 laps remaining now in this Grand Prix. So, having a look. I'm actually surprised that with this dry line, let's have a look. Yep, it looks like Luke Bracer's tyres are getting a bit toasty now, which is not the right call. You can see if we look down at the steering there, it looks like they're going, the rear left anyway, is going over 100 degrees Celsius. Of course, the in that terms, the tyres not the best. These wet tyres obviously do work at quite a lower operating temperature. I think it's around 60 to 75 degrees Celsius, and intermediates are roughly the same, but the dry compound tyres are roughly between 90 and 105, I think it is. Could be wrong. So about the wings or high-speed circuits, maybe Vegas, Spa, Monza, etc. We can maybe cope with a missing input. I know I wouldn't say some of them tracks is not the best, especially Spa, because you're going to end up leaving yourself very vulnerable soon, and Monza as well, because you've got to get a good exit from corners there. Fortunately enough, with tracks like Monaco, with it being a bit Gaming Infinity on the mediums. Oh, ballsy move. We've had the first person opt for the dry compound tyres. All eyes are on the Racing Bulls right now as they're playing ping pong with the barriers as they're coming out of the pit lane. Not the best look for sponsors, but we'll see how these medium tyres are going to fare. And it seems very leery. He's going through the loop. We'll watch the gap between Killer Zombie and Gaming Infinity. Of course, we'll see if this dry line does end up paying off. Coming through, Brooklands in the loft field. It doesn't look like they're the tyre to be on right now. Robert, if you're still in the chat, let me know quickly what the weather report is. If you ask Jeff or Mark or whatever his name is on the game, no, he's still known as Jeff to me. And let me know if it's if the rain is going to stop or what, because I'm actually kind of curious, or if anyone knows in the chat. Oh, Lip Racer opting for the medium tyres as well. That's actually a curious one. Oh, it's about to get dry, so we'll see people opting to possibly jump in. I've seen that number 87 of Loop Racer hop in for mediums. Is it not a bit early for the medium tyres? Actually, Slicks right now is a bit dumb. Saying that, the rain has stopped, but I think, in all honesty, for the track, I honestly think it may not be a case of I think the Inters could possibly end up lasting to the end if you could grin and bear it till the end, and then you're going to end up saving yourself maybe 15 seconds possibly, but we'll soon see. Welcome along all those that are watching. We're on a lap 21 out of 26 here at Silverstone. Oh, going out wide there, Robert. Going to need to keep it within them white lines or you're going to end up with a penalty. Another one into the pit lane. That's Floyd who's into the pits. Braden's saying is agreeing with Robert there, saying is too early for a dry tyres. What's Floyd sticking on? Oh, the softs. So now Floyd's went from intermediates to softs now, from wet to dry. At number 19, Aston Martin coming out the pits. 23.5 seconds it says for the gap to their teammate in third place, so quite a way up the road. Not dry enough. Lap 2 for softs is lap 22 for softs is the way to go. We'll see if Robert is going to take your advice as he's just coming through his store right now. No, cops. Jeezy peeps, I keep getting them mixed up. So he's saying it's not dry enough yet. At this rate, will it just be quicker just staying out? That's the question. I'm actually quite curious to find out. Oh, maybe not. So, Braden, it looks like lap 22. We're on lap 22. But Floyd pitted on lap 21. But he did pit on the softs. So that is a good choice there. We've got Robert coming into the pits. Just managing to get that slowed down in time. And we can see you're down to 36 miles an hour for this length of time. We'll just stick with the Mercedes as it's in the pit box right now. And you'll see how long this pit lane really is. It kind of reminds me of Imola. Like these classic tracks, they've always got such long pit lanes. Robert almost fluffing it. And Uncle Lando's just coming around the club there. So quite a big gap there, unfortunately. Coming up on the back of Uncle Lando's teammate, Killer Zombie, who's currently sitting in 5th place. So all the guys who did compete, fortunately enough, they will get some decent points, all those who do finish. And no spare softs for Robert Newbert, sorry, GC Peeps, and Braden saying interval burn. Yep, I think that will be the case. We'll keep an eye on Uncle Lando and Killer Zombie. Both the McLarens still on the intermediate tyre, and you can actually see, if you look on the tyre, is it just me, or you could actually see the wear from the edge of the tyre. Let's see if we could have a peek. Yep, it looks like they're over 100 degrees Celsius. So like you said, it looks like the intermediate tyres are burning. Uncle Lando into the pit lane. No way, Killer Zombie's in there now. Let's see, is this going to hold up Uncle Lando? Because this could end up causing Loop Racer 2 get past. We'll see a little slight delay. That was just about a second delay. Not too bad, but does manage to get out and get them soft tyres on. We'll go with the Loop Racer. Don't think he's going to be able to catch up enough to get past. Nope, doesn't look like it. I actually thought he was closer than that. So on board with Robert Newbert here. Coming through, Maggots and Beckett's on the lap 24. We'll be about to go into the penultimate lap of this race. The lap 25 here. Got the Aston Martin of, I think that is Floyd, just coming through Club. Robert will still win comfortably. Anyway, he could have pitted for new inters and probably still would have won that far ahead. Yeah, I mean, well, time for a pit stop here is 22 seconds. And that is in terms of time lost. Fortunately enough, a lot of that is lost due to a lot of the time gained there is due to the final chicane section of Vale and Club. So it cuts off there, and that's a bit fortunate. That's a bit unfortunate as to why there is a 36-mile-an-hour speed limit compared to a lot of others who are about, was it 68 miles an hour or 62 miles an hour, something like that, for a lot of them. I think it's 62 because then that equals out at about 100 kilometers per hour. So see, we've got Vale and Club to go, and then it's on to the final lap for Robert, who puts in the fastest lap of 129.650 on them medium compound tyres. Now coming into Abbey, Farm and now Village. Hooking that car in quite nicely. We'll go and just sit with them for now as they're coming through the loop onto the Wellington straight, using a bit of that ERS. A little bit of battery boost there out of the loop. Uncle Lando puts in the fastest lap of 128.448. Let's have a quick look. So quite a big difference there between Uncle Lando and Robert Newbert. But Newbert has got this one lap to do it. Got just a few more corners. Oh, looked like he went a bit wide there. Coming into Stowe. It's going to be the one who's going to take us away for the celebrations tonight. Coming into the penultimate couple of corners here, the final chicane. Nicely does it across the line and is going to take victory here at round 9 in Silverstone. Absolutely spectacular drive from Robert Newbert. Uncle Lando is going to be the next one to cross the line. Actually, I do believe it's going to be Gaming Infinity who's across the line, and that's going to be in the 5th position. We've got Killer Zombie just coming down Vale now. A couple of corners. We've got Uncle Lando just coming down now to the final corner. There we go, across the line. We've just got the Aston Martins that are left, unfortunately. I seen that. No way. Did he end up with a 10-second or 20-second time penalty there? Oh, he's got crap. Robert actually had half a front wing for that last little bit. He bumped it on the barriers on the way out of the pit lane, so that's why he was a bit slower compared to Uncle Lando. So the pit lane speed limits are 37 mile an hour and 50 mile an hour, only ones that you've seen. Oh, could have swore I seen one a bit up at 60. I could be wrong. That just could be false memory. But I will say, absolutely smashing drive from Robert there in the Mercedes. And, did he just manage to get it? What was the gap between the Aston Martins? 4 seconds. Quite close there between the pair of them, considering the loop racer jumping the chicane at the final section. But Robert Newberg doing excellent there, getting that win. Second place goes to Uncle Lando, and also the extra point, which is kind of interesting. That's going away later on this year for the 2025 season. Loop Racer in third, managing to clinch that podium. Good points out there for Aston Martin, getting a third and a fourth. Gaming Infinity in fifth and sixth for Killer Zombie. Unfortunately, Chuck Norris and Ricky Maru both retired from the Grand Prix and did not complete the race. So, what we're going to do next week, what is it? Let me check. What is next week's finale? Is it Abu Dhabi? Oh, pardon me. That came out of nowhere. Ah, yeah, I was right actually. Abu Dhabi. Perfect. So we've got Abu Dhabi next Friday. Tomorrow in WWR we have got Zandvoort, and on Sunday for SRS racing we have got it's going to be a Monaco 3-tire compound race. So that means everyone is going to have to use all the tyres. So they're going to have to use the softs, the mediums and the hards. So that'll be quite an interesting one, especially with it being Monaco in this, and especially with this year it's been changed to a mandatory 2-stop race in real life Formula 1. So that's quite interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see how that does end up playing out with the double pit stop, and because it does seem to end up being a sort of parade really, and it gets a bit boring. You already know who's going to win, unless it was like the 90s, which was edge of the seats type stuff. Cars were a bit narrower and more prone to malfunctions, we'll say. So we ended up seeing that, what was it, 10 drivers or something in the last few laps led the Grand Prix. I could be way off there, it could have been way less, and I'm just over exaggerating. We've got Floydie saying cheers for the comments. We no worries, buddy. I'm glad to have been here to see that. But until next week, from me, it is going to be peace out.